Warren Andrews with BBN Sports, talking football with Chris Clarke, who is the Chilliwack Giants president. Hi, Chris.
Hello there.
The new norm, I was mentioning in our last interview that normally we'd be in a studio together or out in the field, but how have you adapted to this new norm of chatting over the computer?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Obviously, a lot more e-communication rather than in-person communication. It's just something that we're going to have to work with going forward, it looks like. And thankfully, we have the technology these days in order to do that.
Now, I understand this is your first year as the president, so you got off to a good start, though, didn't you, in terms of registrations?
Yeah, we were very high for our registrations for our Spring Flag League. There was a lot of excitement for the registration for fall tackle and for spring tackle as well. We were going to have two teams for that, and then this happened.
This happened. Now, how did you first get involved in football? Are you one of those guys that played football growing up, or do you have kids that play, or are you just one of those guys that steps up when there's a need in the community?
So I did not play football. I've been a football fan most of my life, and just even more so recently over the last decade or so. And my son, when we moved to Chilliwack, he wanted to start playing sports. He was at that age, and so flag football was an option for him in the fall. So we played a year of flag football in the fall. Came back the next year, did spring flag football, and then did tackle that following year. And now he is. This is going to be his fourth full season of football with the Chilliwack Giants. My daughter also has played a few seasons of flag football as well, and she really enjoys that.
And how about for you? I understand you've kind of worn a lot of different hats in Chilliwack in your short time.
Yeah, I went from just being a parent on the sidelines to being assistant coach, and then stepping up to be on the board, and then moving on to president here. So it's been an exciting time. I see a lot of positive things with the Giants, and just want to do my best to kind of help them out in whatever way that I could.
Now, what have been some of the highlights for you as a coach or as a parent with your kids playing when it comes to football?
Definitely seeing the kids come back year after year. That's one thing that the head coach that I've worked with, Colin Boyd, he's really instilled that in me as a coach to try and get the kids to come back every year. That's been a real focus for both him and for the Giants, is to get kids to come back every year. We want to see those same kids as well as recruit new kids. But if we can get the kids from our team coming back year after year, then that means that we've hopefully been doing something right.
Why do you think Chilliwack has had so much success in having kids play football, whether it's flag football, whether it's spring tackle or fall tackle? What is it about Chilliwack that makes it ground central for football in the Valley?
It really is remarkable when you say that. It's such a large organization for being one of the smaller cities in the Valley, in the whole Lower Mainland region. To have one of the biggest football programs in the entire province is quite amazing. It's been a great history of people building it throughout the years, a history of great coaches, great organization, and it's the parents stepping up to volunteer and then recruiting parents to continue that volunteer once they've moved on. So that's been really exciting for me to see is that all the parents of these athletes want to make sure that we are still the biggest and one of the best in all of the province.
Now, there's lots of options for kids to play sports. I mean, you didn't play football yourself growing up, so you know that. So for kids age 5 to 18, what makes football, whether it's flag football, whether it's tackle football, what makes it such a great sport to play?
I think football is a great sport because there's a job for everybody. Whether you're the fastest or the biggest or somewhere in between, there's a spot for you. There are so many different positions on the football field that you can play just about no matter what your what your strengths are. There's 12 different positions in the field, and there's 12 different players that we need to fill those positions. So it's not like everybody's one type of player, and it takes the entire team in order to have success.
Can you speak as a coach to maybe you had a group that were unsure of themselves at the beginning of the year and just how they were able to bond and surprise themselves by the end?
Yeah, well, I've really worked with the youngest age groups. I've done 2 years of Adam and then a first year Pee Wee with my son being just at those ages. So really, it is exciting to see those younger kids really start to pick it up. Even halfway through their first season, or when they come back for their second season, and they've just got so much more understanding of the game. To see them just continue to improve is very exciting. And then to have been in it around for 4 years, to see kids that have moved up from those Adam and Pee Wee levels that were slightly older than my son. So now they're on their older teams and becoming even better players and understanding the game. It's really awesome to see.
Now, you mentioned you're a football fan. Who's your team?
Lions and Seahawks.
Now, unfortunately, the Lions, because the CFL season is earlier in the year, have had to kind of cool things off. But the NFL, it seems like it's business as usual, at least. As a football fan, is that kind of nice to at least seeing players get signed and traded and keep that little flicker going?
Yeah, definitely. It's kept some normalcy to the whole sports scene. I'm a sports fan across the board, so to have nothing on is quite a pain for me. But to have a little bit of that free agency and build it to the draft in the NFL, that's really something to look forward to every day.
And you're not kidding about that, because I watched one of the major sporting events and they were showing the cornhole championship from Alabama or something. So
that's right. Yeah, last week I found myself watching virtual NASCAR racing, so I'm really hard up for sporting event.
Now, this is a tough one, but how hard was it for you to announce that spring tackle and spring flag football had to be canceled this year?
It has definitely not been easy. I was one of the people wanting to hold out to the last minute, just with any shred of hope for the season. I was hoping maybe some things could get pulled together. Unfortunately, with the progression of how things are headed, the health and safety of our parents and our athletes is what's most important to us. So unfortunately, that's what we've had to do. We're still hoping to, of course, have the fall tackle season. That doesn't start until late June or July. Even if it's a little bit later starting this year, we're hoping to still be able to do something in that regard.
Well, Chris, we really thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That's Chris Clarke, the Chilliwack Giants president. I'm Warren Andrews for BBN Sports.